But in Shinjuku, I have a slight horror story in Shinjuku chat. I, low-key, was stalked by a person in Shinjuku station. And that, I don't think they knew who I was, but this was during the warmer days. So this was how the climate is when I went to Japan. Today, it's going to be 18 degrees. Tomorrow, it's going to be 2 degrees. The next day, 4 degrees. The next day, 16 degrees. So you don't know what to wear. But basically, on this day, when I went shopping, I wanted to wear something cute. You know, I want to dress up, right? I put on some makeup. I did my hair. I had a bow and everything. And I had my cute clothes. It was like an off-shoulder top and some like a mini skirt and some leggings and some boots. I was trying to look cute, you know? And I was meeting a friend there to go shopping. So afterwards, we were done at like around 9:30 p.m. Like, we went there at like early in the morning, shopped for like fucking 10 hours, right? We didn't even buy anything much. We just like to look around, talk, eat, look around, talk, eat. So it was just nice to hang out with some people. And then they were like, bye, I'm gonna go to the station now to get back. I went to the Shinjuku station. And obviously, I was kind of lost because Shinjuku station chat is big. Like, I will tell you, that shit's a maze and a half. Going from one end to the other end is going from like Shinjuku to like somewhere else, okay? It's like a different area. So that place is big. There's a lot of like alleyways that leads to alleyways that leads to escalators and stairs. And so then I was trying to find where my train was and I got lost because I basically tapped in and I don't know where I was. And I was like, oh my God, everything is everywhere. And none of this train is the train I'm supposed to take. So I'm just like walking around. And then I noticed there's this guy who was kind of just like following me. Like, I didn't notice it at first, but I noticed it after he started walking like right behind me. Like, when I mean right behind me, I mean like if he reaches his hand out, he would touch my shoulder. It's close. Like, it's not too close that like he would touch me, but you don't have to like stretch your hand out, you know? Like, you can just like reach out a little bit and you would touch me. So it's like kind of right there. And I was like, okay, maybe he's also lost. Like, I'm not... Like, it's not crowded. This was, like, after the, like, rush hour. So it was not crowded. There's still people because it's Shinjuku. But not too much. So I also thought, like, maybe he's also trying to go somewhere, right? So then, at one point, I was like, oh, I've been going straight. And this guy has been, like, really close. So let me just, like, stop at, like, one of the pillars and, like, check, the map a little bit. But I made sure because my phone has a strap. I was also scared that he's gonna like rob me. So I grabbed my phone with like my strap and I looked at the map and then he stopped. Like, he wasn't on the same pillar, but he stopped like on the next pillar, which is like right next to me. And I was like, okay, maybe he's also lost. So I was like, okay, let me just go the other way. Let me backtrack, right? So I backtracked. And then he kept following me. Like, he didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. He just keeps following me. Like, no matter where I go, like, I would go back and then I turn left. He's always there. Sometimes he's a bit further. Sometimes he's really fucking close. And then I would like tap in, tap out. Like, I would go to different places and he's there. I think I was in the station for genuinely 20 minutes because I also didn't know where to go, right? So I was there for like 15 to 20 minutes and he is still there. So I was like, So I messaged my friend. I was like, hey, dude. Because she's a girl, right? So I was like, hey, I like, not to freak you out, but a guy's low-key following me. And she's like, okay, I wanted to message her that. But we can talk. Like, me and my friend, we talk in 2 different applications. There's Discord and there's like another, like there's WhatsApp, basically, right? So I was about to Discord message her being like, yo, not trying to freak you out, but there's a guy following me. I think. Like, I don't want to be, like, cocky or anything, but I was like, I think. You know? And then, when I wanted to message her that, I noticed that she messaged me on WhatsApp saying, like, by the way, girl, be careful. There are a lot of stalkers in Shinjuku. So, like, right before I was about to send that message, she warned me, like, 10 minutes before where it's like, by the way, be careful. There's a lot of stalkers there. Ha ha ha! So I was like, oh, well, now it's not really helping me, is it? Because I'm like, I already had a speculation. And now I fear that it may be true. But then, chat, the moment I did that, thankfully I found the train. And when I tapped in and I started like waiting for the train, he's gone. Like I didn't turn around because I was scared. Like I don't want to make eye contact, right? Like what I think is like the last thing you want to do with someone that might be stalking you is to acknowledge that they exist. So I never turned around, but I know from their pants. Because I look down and I see their shoes and their pants. And they're always there. Like, it's the same guy. Because it's the same pants and the same shoes. But at one point, I looked down. Nothing was there. I turned around, like, trying to be low-key. And he was gone. So that was like, phew. Thank God. Am I right, guys? And then... did you file the report? I didn't because I didn't know where it was. I was barely finding the train that I needed to go. I would not know where the like station report guy is. So I was like, oh shit. Did he wear denim? I knew it. The denim pant user. Thankfully nothing bad happened. But chat, you know what's nuts? Another man followed me yet again. This time, it was in Shimokitazawa. Because I went to Shimokitazawa. And
thanks, Durandalmax.
So that was kind of cool. I went there with Kuro, right? Like, we wanted to go shopping, but the plan was, it's like, we're gonna go there and then we can split. Like, we can go different ways. Because it's Shimokitazawa. You know, like, it's not that scary. So I was like, it's fine. We can split up. And then, like, later, before, like, if you want to get food, we can just meet up there. Because he wanted to go there anyway. So I was like, sick. Let me tag along. So I was, like, walking in a straight line. Kind of. Because if you don't know what Shimokitazawa is, it's kind of well known for like the thrift place. It's not, by the way.
Okay,
if you want to go thrifting,
petition to get you a bodyguard at this point. Gun run
I don't know
PLS.
what I did. I think it's the mini skirt. I don't know. Because I like mini skirts, but I don't know what I did. But I went to Shimokitazawa anyway to look for vintage stuff. And it's basically a whole area. And you can just walk around. There's stores everywhere. So I didn't check the map. I just kind of like walked around with the purpose of like checking out anything I see. And then before I need to go back, I'll check the map if I need to go back, right? So I was walking down this like long road and it went to a smaller road. And it went to like small little hallways, like little paths and stuff. And I'll show you later, but I found a store that sold like vintage items. Before I entered the store, in front of it was like... there are a lot, like there are not too many. There were like 3 stores, but the one in front of the small vintage store was like a bigger one. There was a guy that was standing next to a pole and he was like swaying. Like he's looking down and he's like swaying front and back. You know what I mean? Like he had his headphones on and he's like swaying like front and back. Not dancing, like swaying. So I looked at him because I was like, is he okay? This was also at like 5 p.m. So I was like, is he drunk? Is he high? At 5 p.m.? I don't know. But I looked at him and then we made eye contact. And I was like, ooh, awkward. You know, maybe he's just listening to music, right? And then I went to the vintage store and then I found myself a really, really cool vintage spoon, chat. It was really cool, actually. So I got a really cool spoon and I bought it. Yup. Exactly. Ooh, spoon. It was a really good spoon. And then when I exited the store, he was standing right next to the store. And I kept walking and he kept following me. He kept following me. And then I was like, this is not like main road. This is like small streets that leads to some like neighborhood kind of streets. And it's empty. Like there's not a lot of people. And I kept walking and he was right behind me. And I was scared. So I kept like turning. Like, I'm like, oh, there's a left. Let me take the left, right? Like you can either go straight, right, or left. Let me take left. And then he would take left. And then I would take right. He would take right. I don't even know where I'm going. But like, he's right behind me. And I was like scared. And at one point, I noticed I went on a square. So it's like I turned right and then I turned right again and I turned right and then I'm back to where I was, you know? And he was right there. So at that point, chat, it's safe to say he was following me. Like he's not going home, okay? Because I thought it's like we are in like some alleyway areas, you know? Like probably bro is just trying to find his way back home. I took rights, and he was still behind me. So like we are spinning in a goddamn circle and you are still following me. So I was like, uh-oh, And I didn't want to take out my phone that time because with the station, the difference is in a station, you're kind of like indoors. So I'm not that scared, but this is outdoors. So I'm very fucking scared. And there is like nobody. There is no police, no security. There is no big store buildings. I don't know if it's a store or it's a house most of the time, right? So I don't know. If I need something, I don't know where to go. So I was walking. And out of nowhere, there was a woman that went out with her baby. And throughout this time, like, there was a woman that came out. She had a baby stroll. So there I was. I decided to follow this woman.
Netra got scammed for $50.
But then, yeah, there was this lady with a baby stroller. And I decided to follow her. And thank God I did. Because the moment I followed her, like, I was standing right next to her, right? I took out my phone and I messaged Kuro. I was like, Kuro, I'm not trying to freak you out. And I know you're shopping and stuff. But I think a man is following me. And Kuro's like, what the fuck? So then I had like live location on. I sent him like my location. I was like, I'm gonna try to walk to the station, okay? And he's like, just keep walking, I'll be there. So then I continued walking with this lady. And like, according to the map, I was not that far from the station. Like, it was a different station, but there was a station. So I was like continuing walking. And in the station thing, there's like a cafe, there were bakeries, and I stood inside the cafe bakery. And I was just like pretending to look around. I'm like looking outside. The guy was not there, but I'm kind of scared. You know what I mean? Like, I know he followed me to the station, but I don't know if he's like still outside of the store. So I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. Like, I'm just gonna wait for him inside the store area, and I'm not gonna go anywhere else. We're like standing there, and then I got a message. Kuro kept messaging me. He's like, I'm on the way. Are you okay? I'm on. Like, he keeps like messaging me, and I keep having to respond because like I feel like if I didn't respond, he'd think I'm dead. So I was like, yeah, I'm in a bakery right now. I'm looking at bread. I got a spoon. I kept saying like, I got a spoon, and he's like, good for you. I'm close. And I'm like, okay, I got this cool spoon. Like, I'm stimming. I'm like spooked and I'm stimming. So I'm like, oh, do you want to know the spoon I got? And Kuro was just like, which area of the station? Where are you? And I'm like, I'm in the bakery. Would you like to know more about my spoon? Like, I'm dissociating at that point. And then Kuro came. And then he was like, where are you? And I saw him outside of the window. So I ran out, right? And I was too scared to like turn around or anything. Like, I booted. Like, I ran out of the bakery, and I was like, Kuro, help me. I was like, hello there. And the first thing he did, way to make it not obvious, by the way, he stood up. Like, he was standing really like tall. And I know some of you guys have seen how Kuro looks like. All I can say is like, when Kuro looks serious, he looks kind of scary. You know, like, he has like an intimidating glare. So he was standing there with an intimidating glare, and he's like scanning the area, and he's like, who was it? Where is it? Which one followed you? Which one? And I was like, okay, well, listen, okay, probably, but okay, wait to let them know. But I was like looking around, and I guess he wasn't there anymore. So that was thankful. But then I ended up following him the whole day. Good, him letting them know scares them. Dude, fucking Kuro has a very intimidating face. I'll say that. So most of the time, when I get too scared, I'm like, you know what? Nothing really. Well, sometimes weird shit does happen, but to be fair, I don't want to say it's like, oh, it's because, God, people, it's not how you dress. Well, yeah, but I feel like sometimes maybe I get weird people when I dress a specific way. It's always a specific way. Like, when I'm wearing a sweater and like pants, it doesn't usually happen. But it's always when I dress a very specific way, some weird shit happens. I don't get it. So, I mean, I had crazier stories with Japan. I'm pretty sure I told you guys this, but this was years ago. This was when I was younger. I went to Japan once with some of my friends, and then I almost got kidnapped. In Japan, in Asakusa, at the shrine area, which if I'm not wrong, the name is Meiji Jingu. No joke. You would think, and this is broad daylight, by the way. I remember telling you guys this story. This is like broad daylight at a shrine. Okay, you would not expect someone to try and do weird shit to you in broad daylight in a shrine temple. Like that's supposed to be like religious, you know? Like that's religious in a degree. What the hell? And yeah, there's a lot of weird shit, but I feel like it happens less when I have people around me, which is pretty good. Please be less kidnappable. Maybe I should like start dressing like a really scary person. It's a no-go zone. You don't get mugged, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I get followed. Like a couple of years ago when I went to Japan too, I did the worst mistake of going out during rush hour, and then I had a guy touch my butt once. That was cool, I think. What butt? I have a butt. But to be fair, it's not like... Yeah, it was one of those things I'm like, whoa! You want to know something so fucked? I think like, to a degree, my brain is built to like, not think about it too much. When I say like chat, I don't think about much. I don't think about anything too much. I actually mean it. What do you mean cool? Well, not cool, but... It was really full and there were like a bunch of people. And I was like standing there and I felt a guy like cupping my ass. Like not like touching like accidentally, you know, like he cupped my ass and his hand stayed there. And I remember standing there and I was like, wow, I've heard about this happening, but I've never experienced it myself. And that's it. Like I was just standing there, I was like, interesting, interesting. I've heard about this once, but I've never experienced it myself. It's okay though, because I was wearing pants. I think that's how I... listen, when you listen to stories like this, you're like pissed. Like if my friends told me this, I'd be like, bro, that's so fucked, right? Like that's so horrible. But when it happens to you, your brain dissociates. I'm telling you. Like, it's normal. My brain dissociates a lot. Because like, at that time, it was crowded. Everyone is like pressed against everyone. You feel this shit, you're not gonna be like, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna throw a fit, right? Like, you're not gonna be like, oh, maybe you are, but I'm pathetic. I'm pathetic. So my brain was just like, I see. It seems I have experienced this. Let's see, what can we do? Perhaps we should leave on the next stop. Yes, yes. So, yeah. I mean, it was scary, don't get me wrong, but this was years ago. So I've already processed it. I processed it better, but during the time, oh, fuck no. I'm gonna admit it. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, this is horrible. It was horrible, but my brain don't want to think that way. You know, like you're in a foreign country. You don't know anyone. You don't speak the language, and this is what you experience. Like, no shit, you're not gonna... Like, your brain is not gonna be like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? And like, everyone is like everywhere. Oh, it's scary. You done me and you bet I felt it. I tried to reach you, but you so hot that I melted. Yeah, so right in the quiet. I have tears in my eyes before the cool done over.